Hello, Bridget here, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my second art tutorial. Yes, second. If you missed the first one, I'll leave it in a card or something below, or a link down below. One of the two. One of the two will be done. Not sure which one at this point in time, but, we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, this one will be talking about doing, I think, side views. I don't know if this is a quarter view or not. It's been a long time since I took an actual art class, and so it's a long time since I remember what these names are, but kind of like this view and this view. Granted, I do hate doing this view, but you know what? We're going to do it for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to jump right into everything, and yeah. Okay, so as I said, this is a kind of intro to doing more of a half view, side view. I'm not really sure exactly what you call this. Maybe, I think it's my foot's stuck in a cord. Hold on. I call it side view because I don't really do many profile views, but it's not really fully a side view. I think it's like a 1/4 or 1/3, whatever. I don't know that kind of stuff. I do art. I'm hoping everyone can see this color. I'm just doing a quick head shape, and I'll explain it now. Okay, so how I kind of do this kind of side kind of partial view is I draw kind of like a teardrop shape. Make it a little oblong, make it kind of a pointy spot for the chin, and kind of elongate this back section here because this is kind of where the back of your head would be, but not quite. So if I was doing a full side view, your skull kind of goes out farther than the rest of you. So hold on, let me just do a full side view. And there's a nose, would be like that. So you gotta have this extra space back here because your brain sits here, and you need, the back of your skull. You just don't want it to be like that. That would be a little weird. It's a choice. It's a choice. So there you go. You do a little T. Like I said in the last one, make sure you make them rounded, not straight. Because if you do straight lines on it, it's going to give your character a very flat appearance, and it's going to be very frustrating. Because I know the whole part of art is to make things not look flat. Except, yeah. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Eyeballs. I always start with eyeballs, just like in the last one. We're going to draw the eyes on this kind of center line. And this far eye, make sure you draw it smaller. Unlike the last one, the eyeballs definitely will not match. This one is being seen kind of from the bridge of your nose. So that would be your bridge of your nose. Let's draw on the nose real quick. So yeah. So the side of your nose is actually blocking this portion of your eye. So if you do kind of a teardrop, half teardrop for that one, make it about the same height here and here, but you don't have to draw where it comes down into the tear ducts. That, no. Because that part's blocked by the nose. So you do the top and the other half of it and kind of squish it a little bit, if that makes sense. Not sure if that does, but, it's all I got right now. Then I'll do, little indicators for, eyelids, because that's what I do. Doesn't have to. So I'm going to put eyeballs facing this way. And, again, since you just got to remember that everything's being blocked by this nose. So you're not going to see the whole, iris there. Even if you're looking this way, instead, the eye will still be blocked a little bit because you're not seeing it fully. It's the side, it's, that kind of thing. And I guess that's the main thing, is just understanding that everything on this side of the face is going to be shorter. Everything on this side of the face is going to be relatively normal looking. So for mouths, I'm just going to do a quick one. So I do the center line first. I kind of do this bottom, do the top. And there, see, this part is kind of shorter. You can see less of it, and this one's a little bit elongated because it's the side you can see. Now, honestly, I realize now that I drew this eye a little far. No sweat, just kind of pull it back. And how do I determine that? Again, it's kind of the same rule as last time. This space between the nose and the eyeballs, not between eyeball to eyeball, should be about the same length as your eyeball itself, even though it is a side view. So you should be taking this eyeball into account, not that one. So yeah, with that spacing. Then again, ears. If you want an ear, you can kind of place it. It doesn't belong way out here because that's not where, that's the back of your skull. It kind of goes again, kind of spaced away from your ear, about half an inch, and not about, I think that would be a half a centimeter. My ear is a little jacked up because I hate ears, but yeah, top of your ear should be with the top of your eyeball. You know, just a little above that line, a little below, you know, depends on how you drew it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to change color so it's easier to see what I'm doing now. This is where I see kind of people struggle a little bit, and I struggle a lot with it, is this kind of like how to draw the side of the face. I was trying to remember to put a tiny little divot for where the eyeball is. So like the top of the eyeball right here is kind of where your brow bone is. So like if you do like an eyeball, like, you know, eyebrows kind of here, your eyebrows aren't really necessarily, when you see from a side view, it isn't exactly like, here, let me just kind of erase. Oh no! Catastrophe! I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. So, like, if I erase this real quick. Your brow bone isn't where really necessarily your eyeball kind of is. I usually drop it a little bit because this looks a little weird. It looks, let me draw it a little better. This, to me, looks a little weird. It looks like this is inward too much and this is outward too much. So I kind of fake it a little bit more by dropping it just under the eyebrow and then divoting right where the eye is a little bit and then coming back out for the cheek. So the top of your eyeball is kind of actually where the divot begins, and the bottom is where your cheek kind of comes out. Then I just follow this down. You can make a little, like, sometimes some people make a little, like, divot where the mouth is, kind of push it out a little bit. You don't have to. It just depends on what, like, how far the face is turned. Because if this person's turned more this way, you're going to see less of this eye, and this mouth is going to be closer to the edge of where you can see. Chins, though. Chins, you kind of have to make room for them. You kind of have to, like, push them out. I see a lot of people go like this and curve them out, or just make them disappear on these side views. Or they end up going, like, in like that. Mine is just make sure to do, like, another little divot, come around, and continue with the jawline so that it actually has a chin. And so that it's not looks like it's concave or anything. Just make sure you just don't do something like that because that's a little too extreme. I mean, unless that was your point. But, you know, if it was accidental, yeah, might want to fix that. And since there is an ear here, I usually curve out the jawline like right behind where the earlobe should be. So that if that's the earlobe, the jaw kind of curves right behind that. Now, if you have long hair or anything that's like a hat, a hoodie or anything, you don't get to see that. And here, this is another thing I notice people do, is that this top piece, like this, is still like this. Your jaw doesn't connect straight into the top of your head. That's not a thing. Your skull back here actually goes farther beyond your ear and beyond your skull. So, not skull, beyond your ear and beyond your jaw is what I mean. So there's still a line back here. This whole top piece, like up here and this bump out here, the back of your head, is still there. Your neck actually connects right back here, not over here. So let me do it like what I explained. Like do it wrong real quick. So if I were to just, you know, put the jaw here, put this then, and then curve this and re-center it back here and make the neck come out of the jaw, it like squishes the back of your head. It also is going to make, if you're going to do hairstyles or anything like that, it's going to make the back of it look weird. You want to extend that, give your little person a back of the head and a back of the neck instead of cutting it all off, because that's tragic. And this way, if you do any like cool hairstyles that are like flippy or just any hairstyles in general, they're going to work, and you're also not like confusing your viewer and confusing yourself, honestly. Just going to pop the rest of the neck out from under here. You can figure out how thick you want their neck. I usually just go a little bit into the chin and down. Again, we're not going to focus on what's below the neck for this one. Same as last time, you kind of want to pick what direction you want your hairstyle to go in. If it's this or that, like, I'll play with directions real quick. So you can have your bangs go this way, but just make sure that there's a flow to it. Like this is flowing into that, so you can do two different directions. Just make sure you don't like just keep flipping things back and forth because it looks very chaotic. Like I said in the last one, I'm gonna give you some. Let's give you some spiky hair in the back to accentuate the back of your head. Yeah, there we go. Now we're towing it. There we go. E-girl. There. That's a quick set. I'm like, that's kind of like, I don't know. I want to say it's like a 3/4, but I'm probably wrong. I don't pay attention to all that stuff. Now we're going to go down here to my least favorite view. I hate doing full profile views, but I'll do it for you. Okay, so kind of already did it. Kind of the same teardrop shape, except the teardrop part is farther over this way. So this one was like, if you can kind of see the difference here. So you have no room on the side, so the teardrop is like right there. Like, well, you know. And then you add a little nose. Whoopsies, I just erased my nose. Okay, so you add a little nose. I usually do that to indicate where everything is on here. We're going to erase some of these lines. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I don't do this view very often because I hate it. But, so you can't really use a center line because your center line is this line right here. You gotta kind of, like, for me, I have a lot of troubles figuring out where eyeballs should be. So I'm just kind of guesstimate. I want to make sure I have a bunch of forehead, but I'm not, like, invading the space for the nose. That would really suck. So, and usually I start with the eyes and then fix everything else to follow those. So for, like, oh, Jesus Christ. Hold on, let me change these colors. Okay, there we go. For, like, side eyes, I kind of just do this kind of shape. I'm not really sure what it's called, but, like, there's the top of the eye, there's the eye itself, and there's the bottom. I'm not really sure what kind of shape, so I'll put some, like, eyelid there. I usually just extend the top of the eyelid a little bit more if I was doing eyelashes. I do the same for the bottom because I kind of, like, will either make a line for the cheek, or I will later turn it into like the bottom lids, that kind of thing. Usually just put a little, like, here, I'll darken it so you can see where the iris would be. There. Not really sure. Like, I'm hoping looking at it as opposed to me talking makes more sense here. And then we'll put an eyebrow. Eyebrows really don't seem to change a whole lot, do they? But yeah, you can kind of pick how far up you want your eyebrow. You can have it, like, just don't make it way up here towards the top of the head. Try to keep everything, you know, minimally distance apart, but not over the top of each other. This is where I kind of sometimes mess up a little bit. I usually try to make a little line for where the cheek should be. Not always, but just it helps me line up the nose, because, like, right now if I put the nose where it is, it's kind of, like, really far up on your face. Like, if I were to draw the front view of this, like, there's the eyeballs, your nose would be, like, up here, where your cheeks are, and you want them down here near the bottom of your cheeks. So usually it kind of divots in. Your nose would start about where your eyeball, like top of your eyeball is. Come down, and it has to go below it goes below your cheek. My nose that nose is not the best. I have it come back in about the same distance here. So where I divot in, I can't make it come back down to that. Don't go that far in or stuff like that. Like, it looks a little weird. Try to keep those two things lined up. Mouths, I kind of don't give a crap about sometimes. I just kind of go down, like, you know, half a centimeter or so, or whatever it looks good, and just kind of go in. Make a little bottom lip, make that kind of go in. It works. Divot. Make sure there's another divot here. That's where the bottom lip comes out into your chin, right down here. And then make some kind of chin. You can really play with chins. I don't do side views very much because I hate them. But make sure you have, like, some kind of divot. Don't just go straight down because it kind of looks weird. Unless you're doing, like, anime and stuff like that. I know they do it a lot. But for this context right now, just try to give a little bit of a chin. And then we'll kind of bring up the jaw. Now, ears, this is, again, another thing where I have problems spacing them. Like, does that look good? I don't think, no, that does not look good. Because this jawline will go back up into the ear. Let's just kind of play with that spacing. Yeah, I think that's good. Make sure you get that back of the head, but do not connect the back of the head with the jaw. Just don't do that. Make sure you make a room for your neck. Always make room for this. You need it in your drawings if you're one of those people who likes to draw necks. And then the bottom of the neck is kind of curved. So just don't stick it straight. Don't make it a stick. You don't draw a lot of just like straight lines when you're drawing people, especially faces and stuff like that. Make everything kind of like curvy and divoty and nothing straight. As you can see, nothing like fricky frack. The closest thing to a straight line would probably be like the bridge of your nose. But even like there's a lot of people with different types of noses like that or like this. So thank you for watching. I'm hoping that was very like helpful for you. I'm trying to simplify as much as I do. A lot of what I do is just guesstimating. So I'm really hoping this is translating correctly and is helping some people. Go ahead and leave comments down below if you would like to see any other tutorials. I do have another one coming next Monday, which should be body proportions. More of an abstract, I want to say, body proportions, because I'm not going to specify any particular gender, because that would be like a really long video of doing all the different variations of body types. But yeah, if you would like to see anything besides that, because that's already filmed, leave that below. And thank you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Everyone stay safe, stay as healthy as you can, and bye. Whew. Well, these are a lot of fun to make, but they're taking a lot out of me. Oh my. I keep thinking of other ones I can make and how detailed I can go into it, and geez, it'd be like a really, really long video series if I did that. Okay, so yeah. So do the whole YouTuber things, you know, like, subscribe, comment, I guess, only if it's nice because, you know, I'm a softie, big softie. Yep, that's me.